There you are.
Hello.
Hi, Sonia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Nice to see you again.
Yes. I know I thought all the classes were interesting. Um,
Like, is there a list of all the classes that you offer?
I do have a list. Yeah, I can drop it in the chat for you.
okay.
So I've got this comprehensive intensive coming up at the end of the month. And then I've got a 1-day integrative cancer care course happening in July on the 18th. And
Okay.
then there's my 6-month mentorship and training academy starting in September. And then there's also a 2-day science of scar tissue course happening in October. So I'm just going to
Okay,
pop this link in the chat here for you so you can.
because
I know the scar tissue and the 1-day breast cancer care, um,
and what all does the breast cancer care?
like entail. Does it have a description there or?
Yeah, so on the page it will give you a link that you will go so on this overview page that I just dropped the link in the chat for you.
Okay,
It's got access to all the different courses. So you just click on the course and it will take you to the page that will open it up and it will give you more information there. But I'll give you the overview here.
okay,
So in this 1-day course, it's all focused on breast cancer. It's not other types of cancer. So you learn
mhm,
about different types of breast cancer, stages, grades, what do those mean, how to recognize metastasis. You learn about what chemotherapy and radiation are, how do they work in the body, and how are they administered? What are some of the side effects people might experience that you can help them with? And then some techniques for working
Okay.
with people going through chemo or going through radiation. And ports, what are ports?
mhm.
What are
Because
biopsies? How do they work? All that information.
okay. Because I was wondering, because a lot of that
I know because I'm a breast cancer survivor and I had to go through.
all that stuff. So I was
Okay.
wondering if that still would be something I would.
I mean, I know I'll learn something. In every class, you end up learning something. Um,
But if I should do in the scar tissue class,
I'm interested in also. Um,
but then I was wondering if there's a different breast class.
would be better for me. What do you think?
So it depends on what your goals are and what's the information that you're looking to learn and where are you wanting to direct your practice. So let's just take a moment to just check in with your practice now so I can get to know like who are you working with now, what's your style of practice, and we'll go from there. So maybe just fill
Okay.
me in a little bit on how are you working at the moment and who are you
Well,
working with?
I'm working.
And I've got something in my eye. Hello, I'm sorry. I just got something in my
And
eye.
where are you tuning in
I
from?
am in in Clarksville, Tennessee, and I contract out for a doctor and work on all of his patients with pain. But then I've got private practice that I do a lot of lymphatic and I'm getting more people that are they're more post-surgical where they do now the big thing here is like the lipo 360 and people getting Brazilian butt lifts but then they also get the breast augmentation or reduction, things like that too. But I would like to do more like with women's health, where especially with the cancer, since I've had it and there's so sorry about my eye, but I'm like
No worries.
something is in my eye, like all of a sudden.
Do you need to go
Then
and flush it out
No, I
or
think it's
just
okay.
take
No, I
5?
think it's okay. It just I don't know what the thing was. Then I'm wanting to be more geared towards women's health, especially with people with cancer or not with cancer, but even after. I mean, people with cancers, fine. That would be fine too. But then after, because I know here in the States, it's like after you get cancer, okay, you find out you have cancer, and then you're on this big roller coaster, and then you get tons of information, and they tell you what you got to do here. You got to be at chemo X amount of times. Then, like, I had surgery, then I had radiation. So for months, you've got every detail. You're told you got to do this, 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 and then you get released and you're dropped off. Done. And so that is where I want to bridge that gap. But there's not a lot of people that do anything. I mean, here I've had to advocate for myself where I just had more because my chest wall was hurting. Well, I thought it was my chest wall. And then I wanted a PET scan and they didn't even give me a PET scan. And they said, I said, well, I want some type of scan because I feel like something's going on. And it wasn't muscle. I know it wasn't muscular. And it really wasn't even skeletal. It was in the breast, but I didn't know enough about the breast then. That's why I wish I had these classes even before I had breast cancer. I didn't even know. And they're also my lymphedema specialist, Jerry. She's a physical therapist, but I'm going to give her your information because I think that would help her in her practice too, because she sends all of her people to me after they go to her for physical therapy because I'm so much more hands-on than she is. So that was another thing that I was excited about. But then I want to bridge that gap, especially with men and women. And then, I mean, with the transgender thing, we are in the Bible Belt. Okay. So that's, I'm not saying it's frowned upon, but it's just, I mean, I see some men and women, especially men becoming a woman, and they're having like, you know, the breast augmentation, and then they're having things like that. But that is something that you open my eyes to where I didn't even think about that. Just because we're so in the Bible Belt, I'm not rural, but we're still like right next to Nashville.
Yeah,
so
I understand that. Yeah, different cultures, different levels of acceptance in different parts of the world. So is that a population you yourself feel drawn to working with, or you're more on the kind of oncology, post-surgical area?
That's what I'm on more, but I don't want to rule myself out of not doing that. Like, I don't have a problem. It does not bother me to touch anybody. I mean, I've been doing it for 25 years. Even like when people come in and they're hurting, then they'll even, you know, ask, you know, because I do a lot of like on the sternum
And the intercostals and all that kind of stuff. It's just I hadn't done a lot in the
breast area. Well, except for people that have like older clients that will have like the mastectomies,
you know, how they're concave and things where, and then I even show them how to do like lymphatic, things like that. So I don't have a problem touching. It's just, I need more education on that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I get that. So, okay. So for you, it sounds like lymphatic drainage is a part of your practice. So you've been working with some post-surgical patients, and not so much on the breast itself, but like liposuction, other types of cosmetic surgeries, and you're comfortable with that. And you're lacking on some knowledge on the, you know, what's actually happening during the surgeries, but supporting women's health is something that is of interest. And you've got a physio that you've got a good referral relationship with. You're open to the trans population. It's not really anyone that's been in your practice so far, but you're like, I could try. I'm not like, yeah.
Yes. And I would
Yeah.
tell them that. I mean, that's like, even because I'm also an esthetician and I do waxing, and I've had people that's came in and they know, they're like, oh, she's this little, you know, conservative little white lady that does, I mean, they tell them that. So they even know, I mean, yes, it's just something, I mean, I'll tell them you know, that's just not one of my specialties, but like I wax, you know, I mean, I can wax like when they're getting ready to go for their surgeries, because they kind of come in town, they're picking up one of their friends and going with them. So, I mean, they already know that I'm not totally against it, but I mean, I'm not judging or anything, and they know that. So at least that I think would be okay too. That wouldn't bother me. It's just, I'm just not familiar with that.
Yeah, fair. And everybody has to start somewhere. It's just, it's just a fact. Yeah, for sure. So if you were going to project yourself forward to next spring, 2025, and you were going to think of your ideal scenario for yourself, what would you like it to be? What would be your goals
I
for
would want
yourself?
to add in, you know, like I said, in I think something
the questionnaire or whatever that I put in, I would like to definitely add at least 20, I would like it to be 25 to 50%
of that population to get away from all this deep tissue and working for the doctor. You know what I'm saying? He's a chiropractor, and you know how, well, here it's like they think we're machines. Like I can't even go back to work tomorrow. I've had to cancel out clients because I went for my post-op and they said, you really need to take another week off. And then I thought, I'm just, canceling out, just kind of putting me first because I don't want a seroma. But then it's just kind of like they were his clients, where I feel more like a machine towards his, but with mine, then they understand. I've got a little bit better boundaries with mine than with his. Then I don't have as much control as I like. So that's one of the things that, because I work in a wellness center, I'm right next to his clinic, and our building is a wellness center, but it's kind of like I'm private practice there. So I don't know if I want to move totally out of that, but I like the safe area, and all I have to do is kind of go in. I don't have to manage all the day-to-day stuff, where that's better because I've done that before. And so I just, pay him kind of like a booth rent type thing. But then on his clients, and I get 50%, and I don't get paid enough. But yet my body, I've been doing it, so I don't, I want my body to be able to last at least, I'd say 10 years, but at least 5-6 more years, because I'll be 55. So I'm not yet ready to retire yet. But I know my body can't keep on doing the stress that I put on it.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So I would do more geared towards women's health.
Women's health. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it sounds like for you want to bring in like a quarter to a half of your practice with this population. You want to transition to a lighter touch style of treatment, and you want to stop feeling like you're a machine that has to just be on all the time, and more kind of, it sounds like those are more deep tissue kind of firm style of treatments, and that you don't have quite as much autonomy as you like at the moment. So you would like to be able to have more autonomy in your practice. And that includes where you work. Maybe you want to evolve where you're working. Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Thank you. So what would you say are the gaps then between where you are now and where you want to be a year from now?
Well, one thing, I want more education about
like the breast area. And then also getting, because
we're private pay. I mean, everybody's private pay. So it would
they have to, figure out how to get them in the door.
And there's a couple avenues that I could do, because there's just like a Love is Pink is a place where they get fitted for like the bras and prosthetics, where I could advertise more. I could do everything, but it's like I'm gonna have to do more of that, because right now I couldn't even get people in as much because I'm so busy. So I would have to let go of some of the deep tissue and all that stuff, and then advertise more and get people in, because with my lymphatic, there's only like 3 of us in Clarksville, and most of them get referred to me anyway. I don't even advertise anymore. I don't do any advertisement. It's just all the other therapists will call. So I could put it out to the therapist in town, letting them know, hey, I do this, because most people don't want to do it, or they don't feel comfortable. So that's why they send them to me, because I do have a little bit of a medical background.
Right.
So
that's the
gaps.
I can appreciate that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that I just feel like I need more education. So I'm not, I guess you said like the imposter syndrome.
That way I want to be able to explain everything and know myself. I know I'm doing it, because I'm not worried about touching people. And because some people are like, oh, I don't want to touch. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do, they're kind of scared. I'm not scared of that, because I am conservative. If I don't feel comfortable, I let them know why I don't feel comfortable, and I tell them why. That's why I don't have a problem referring them back to their doctor with this, especially because all these post-surgical people, because they will go out of state or out of the country and get it done and then come back. And so I'm very conservative on that. So
yeah. Okay, good. So you've got a certain level of comfort with working with this part of the body, and you're able to say no if you feel like this is not my jam for whatever your reason. You're okay to say that, which is great. So for you, it sounds like getting education is really important. So you feel like you know what you're talking about. You're really well versed in all the different aspects of breast care, what, you know, what's happening under the skin during the surgeries. Are complications of interest to you, knowing like if people are going through surgeries, what's going wrong and how to help with that? Is that
Yes,
important?
because the clients that I have, the breast cancer people that I have people that have had like, multiple surgeries to fix what they've going on. So they come to me. And so, like I told, it's not like I've been going with the blind, but I tell them, well, the stuff that I know, like I'll work, the sternum and work the clavicle and work all around to help them, or like even in the shoulder, they know that even though I'm not like a breast person specialist, but yet I can do the lymphatic on just the knowledge I know to help. But then I would still like with the complications, because I know that I could help them more. The only thing I'm concerned about is like with pay, they would have to be paying private pay because the state, we used to, when I got out of school, insurance paid. Well, then now they don't with a massage therapist, but with the physical therapist, they would pay. See, like
Right.
with like Jerry, I send people because she's a physical therapist or occupational therapist, so they would pay her. The insurance would, but they wouldn't pay me because I'm only a massage therapist, if that makes sense. That's just how Tennessee is.
Yeah, I understand that. Different jurisdictions in different places. Yeah, how about what insurance will do and won't do. So it also sounds like the other gap is how to actually get these patients into your practice, and then to be able to transition some of your current patients out to create space to allow these people into your practice, right?
Yeah.
That's your other area of
Yes.
gap. Yeah. Is there anything else?
I'm sure there is, but I can't think of it right now.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because everything's been focused on the breast lately with me having the surgery and stuff done and then the classes. So my whole thing's gone to breast. Even, my daughter's laughing. She's breastfeeding. And that's another thing with the nursing mothers too, is like when they have mastitis, then I'm like, I can tell you how to massage it. And that was one thing, even when I breastfed, that I got introduced to the whole breast massage is my gynecologist, he knew that, I worked with people, and he was like, either you have to find somebody, one of your friends, because I worked in a spa at the time for like 15 years in therapist. I'm like, okay, or he goes, I'm going to have to do it and it's going to hurt really bad. So then I had to instruct one of the other therapists how to do it. And it was just amazing how, it helps, with that. So that's another area too, is with the, with women, nursing moms and stuff. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So now, in terms of learning, are you the type of person that you're like, I want the skill, I want skills-based learning, and then I want to go and implement it myself? Or are you the person that's like, I want to learn and I want to have somebody help me implement it as I'm learning it? What's your kind of style of learning? What's your
Well,
preference?
if I feel confident, like I can have somebody show me and teach me and learn it. And then if I feel comfortable enough, then I will go and do it right then. Like I don't have to have somebody to stand over and hold my hand if I feel confident enough to do it.
Right.
But it's, that's okay. But I want to know and see, what somebody's doing and feel confident and then take it. And so I don't know where that would fall in.
Okay. So I ask because there's two different options. So I've got, if you want the skills-based learning, there's the comprehensive, which if that's okay for you, I can go into what my two options that I think are useful for you.
Okay.
So one of them is the comprehensive training, which is coming up on May 31st. And it's 2 long weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that's the skills-based learning. So May 31st, June 1st, June 2nd, and then the following June 7th, 8th, and 9th. So it's 2 weekends. And in it, you're going to get all the training for working with breast and chest surgery patients. So you
Okay.
get your foundational material so that you're comfortable working with breast massage, all the ethics and professionalism around it.
Mhm.
And you get your 18 different types of breast and chest surgery. So you understand really what's going on underneath the skin. And you get the top 10 post-op complications. So you understand, you mentioned seroma, you don't want a seroma,
Mhm.
you understand kind of how to help someone avoid a seroma or
Mhm.
other like cording or capsular contracture, all of those. You do get some practice time in the event so that you can have somebody come in to your place. You can practice what you're learning with them. And then, so you get three hands-on practice time during the event. And then
Okay.
after the event, you implement it by yourself in your own practice. You get a certificate so you can say you've done this training and now you're a certified breast and chest surgery therapist.
Okay.
And then there's the treatment videos, which you can get a subscription to the treatment library after the course. So you'll see during the course different videos, and then if you want to keep it up so that you can see the hand skills, then you've
Mhm.
got that subscription, and then you can continue to learn self-paced through the videos on your own.
Okay.
So that's the fastest option. It's
Okay.
starting on the 31st. So that's just under 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
And it is 6 days. So you would need the 6 days available.
Okay. And what time? Because we do it all virtual, right?
It's all virtual and it's Pacific time. So are you central in Tennessee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're 2 hours ahead. So for you, it would be 10:30 in the morning until 6:30 at night for
Okay.
all the days.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we give you the schedule, like this is when you want your practice person to come. And just like we did in the 3-day event, everybody turns their camera off and you
Mm-hmm.
practice with your person. And then we come back in the group and we talk about it and
Mm-hmm.
we go from there. If you are like have questions or this or that,
Mm-hmm.
then we have a discussion and you get help with it. The other
Okay.
option
Okay.
is the 6-month mentorship and training academy. Now you get all that same core curriculum plus the
Okay.
integrative cancer care, and you get help and assistance with the marketing, with transitioning your practice to where you want it to be a year from now, with learning within the supportive community so that you're getting help with being able to reach out into the world around you. Like you were mentioning, you've got this
Mm-hmm.
store that does the prosthesis, and so
Mm-hmm.
we would that whole process of reaching out to your community and creating those connections, it's all facilitated through that over the 6-month
Mm-hmm.
process. So if you want help and support with that, then that's your best bet. If you're like, I just want the skills-based learning and then I'm fine to go apply it on my own, I'm fine to go reach out to the people on my own, then you would want to do the comprehensive.
Um,
Okay.
so on the 6-month mentorship, like when is the classes or when
So
is the
it
times?
starts on September the 14th, which is a Saturday. So there's a few Saturdays throughout the program, but primarily it's delivered on a Monday
Okay.
and everything is virtual. So your training days where you'd be going over the foundations, the level 1, the level 2.
Mm-hmm.
For you, that would be from 12 to 6.
Okay.
And then on other Mondays, we have group mentorship calls, which are 90 minutes. And for you, that would be from 3 to 4:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
And then you get a couple of one-on-one sessions like we're doing right now with me throughout the program. Plus you get practice sessions that some of them you just do on your own. Some of them you film and then you send me the film and I watch and I give you feedback on your treatment. So then I can say like, this part is really good. This part needs strengthening, too much
Mm-hmm.
tension in your hands, whatever the feedback is that you need.
Mm-hmm.
So then you get that direct feedback, which is different than the comprehensive, because the comprehensive, I don't actually see what you're doing. I just can talk to you about it afterwards, but otherwise you're practicing on your own alongside the video. But in the mentorship program, I do actually get an opportunity to see some of your treatments, and there's a certain number of treatments that you have to do before you are eligible to graduate. And, there's like,
Work on people.
yeah, there's markers that you have to
Yeah. Okay.
catch throughout the way. Yeah.
And
Cause like if I did the comprehensive, if I did the 6-day one, then what if just say,
okay, after I completed this and I felt comfortable enough to, do it, then, but if I end up lacking, just say, okay, I can't get these people in, like if I went, because there's a couple of doctors I can reach out to, and mostly I'd have to reach out to Nashville, just because, like if I had issues trying to get people in, is there something that I could end up paying to do, like the mentorship or the, that part? Okay.
Yeah.
Because
so if you do the comprehensive now, and then you're like, I really want the mentorship part, then in September you can just join the mentorship only part, because you've already done, except for the integrative cancer care, then that would be a part of it because that's a whole part of the program. But you can just join the mentorship only side afterwards.
Okay.
So that's totally available.
okay. And then,
if I can't do it in the next 2 weeks, because there's only the 31st is my daughter, she has to go to court. It's like an adoption case type thing that she's doing with her baby. So I may be done, but then starting at 10:30, that may be cutting it close. Do you have another class coming up yet?
I don't. That's the only one this year's.
See that?
because the other dates is fine. It's just that
31st, because I know the court, but I may could do it. It's just that was my only thing, because I'm thinking that would be done by noon. I've already blocked off by noon.
because I think that would be the problem.
Yeah. So
there.
for you, 8:30, 10:30. Yeah. So you would miss the first hour and a half. However, we do record the days. So you could watch. I don't quite know how we're going to do the recording part, but if you already know, like, I can make almost all of it, just not the first small portion.
And I might could, because we may get there at 8:30,
and then the dad not show up, and then the adoption goes, I'm saying something. I'm at home today, so I know I've got dogs, I've got like everything going on.
That's great.
And then I will just find out for sure on that,
and then look at my
schedule, especially with it being the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then that shouldn't be, but then I will find out more on that. How much is that course?
That's 1,800 plus GST Canadian. So for you, that's 30% in your favor. Let me just look up what the Canadian to USD rate is. So 1,800 Canadian is 1,321 at the moment US. So you have like a $500 savings with that.
Okay.
We have GST on top of it, so GST is 5%. So it wouldn't be for you. Probably be like maybe 13.50 or 13.
Yeah, like say
14.
We do 14.
Just say 14. Yeah, round up to 14.
Okay, and the 6-month
mentorship, how much is that?
So this one has a couple of different. This one has a couple of different page structures. So let me just share my screen because it's going to be easier for you to see this one.
Okay.
So the regular price is, if you want to do monthly payments, $800 a month for 6 months. So that's $4,800. But there's GST on top of this. And then a $500 commitment deposit if you want to start paying in August instead of now. Or you could just do it all in one go, $4,800. Yeah, and same, you just in August you just pay the $4,800. Except if you are doing it from the Clarity call from here, then at the moment you can save $1,000 on your course tuition. So you could pay only $638 a month instead of $800. And if you want to just pay it all now and not reserve your spot until August, you just want to reserve your spot by paying the full tuition, then I'll waive the commitment deposit as well. And then you would be saving 1,500 Canadian. So you'd only pay 3,800 and then the tax on top of that.
And then also, I was going to ask about, with are they accredited? Like, would they be considered some of your continuing education? I know it's through the NCBTA, the initials that we were
Yeah,
we were
the
talking
one with the
about.
super long initials.
I know yes. Then when do you think that will be accredited?
It's so close, really. It
Okay.
would be before the end of the mentorship program for sure. It will be 100% this year. Like all the fees are paid, all the information is in. Like it's not long until that's all tied
Okay,
up.
because we can submit, like, if you do a class that, like, just say if I did a class that y'all wasn't accredited for, then there's a guideline that you have to contact the board 45 days ahead of the class to say, I'm taking this class, and I think we have to send in maybe like a syllabus or something to show what we're learning to them for them to okay. That was an option that we could do. Because I definitely like the I don't, is it called the comprehensive, the 6-day? Is that the 6-day?
Comprehensive
I kind
intensive.
of like that one. It's just, I've got to look at the dates to make sure that I'm available those days. That's why I wish there was like if you knew when another one was, so I could totally clear my calendar totally.
Yeah, I think if the comprehensive intensive is the one that's speaking to you, this is your opportunity. And if you're only missing the first hour and a half, like the first hour and a half, I share about, myself, what I'm doing, why I'm doing this work. Other people share about what they're doing, why they're doing this work. And then we get into, like, we start with some of the soft skills, our approach with mindfulness and, so you're kind of missing some of that introductory stuff.
Kind of like would it be some of like the 3-day things that we did, something similar to that? Okay. All right. And then I could get on the call. Like I said, I mean, I may be able to, but I'm thinking even by noon my time, then we would be done. Even if I had to go get on the call in the car and, start it then. And I can block my camera, like, where there's nobody, around. Cause I would take the classes. I'd probably do it at my work, so that
makes
way
sense.
It's not so distracting, than like in the house if there's not people here. But I would just have to look at my calendar, and make sure what appointments I have set. And those dates, let me write this down again. Those dates are
May 31st.
And that's the Friday.
Yeah, that's the Friday to June 2nd, the Sunday. And then the following week, it's June 7th, which is the Friday, to June 9th, which is the Sunday.
Okay. And that's just all day. Like you're just sitting basically in a whole day class, but just make sure your camera's on.
Yep.
And do we need people to work on that day?
You have 3 days where you want people to come in. So you want someone on Saturday, June the 1st.
Okay.
On Friday, June the 7th. And on Sunday, June the 9th. So on the second day of each level, because there's 3 levels, the second day of each level is when you get your hands-on practice time, and you get a 90-minute session. And we tell you the exact time that your person needs to show up, and so that they understand, okay, I'm here for 90 minutes. They know how to organize their calendar and their schedule, and it just keeps the communication clear that way.
Well, and
so
that
for your
wouldn't be a
first
problem.
day, your first day, you want someone just healthy breath. They don't have to be surgicalized. You're just doing healthy breast massage on the 1st, June 1st.
Can it be a nursing mom? If I can't find anybody, I can get my daughter. I mean, I'll get my daughter to do it. But I can I'm sure I can find, I got a whole bunch of people that have healthy breast. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's
and
not a
then
problem.
the next 2 days, it's ideally if you have someone who is post-surgical, but they can't be earlier than 6 months. They have to be 6 months or beyond from
When
their
you say
surgery date.
post-surgical, are you talking about just like say a mastectomy with implant, without implant, what?
All of the above. All of that's good.
Okay, because I have a couple of people that they did one that didn't get an implant. And then one, I mean, I have one that's had, do you want them to have a mastectomy or a lumpectomy? Does it matter?
All of it. It's all good. As long as they've had some type of breast or chest surgery, they're welcome. Yeah.
Because I
It
have
could
a
be,
whole women that I
yeah,
could reach.
lumpectomy is great. Mastectomy is
Mhm.
great. Breast reduction is great. Augmentation is great. The flap
I've
is
got all
great.
the
Like,
above.
yeah.
Is there any one, are y'all going to tell us which is better to get?
Like which
No, you
model
can
would be
work.
better?
Nope, not for this. For the mentorship, we do lay it out. We're like, first month,
Okay.
you're only having healthy breast massage. Second month, you want someone who has had a reduction or a augmentation or lumpectomy, one of the simpler surgeries. So we like lay it out so that you know kind of how to order your practice times. For the comprehensive intensive, it's like whoever you can get in, as long as they're 6 months past their surgery date,
Yes.
then you're fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because that's good to know. Okay. Because that sounds like something I would be more interested in. To go ahead and do it, Laura, because I think I can
Integrate that more like in the lymphatic and then the post-surgical. I think I definitely could do that. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then is there like a QR code or like if I sign up, is there like a discount or from the call or not on this one, on the 6th day?
I don't have one on the comprehensive. I do have one
Okay.
on the mentorship. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so if I decide to do this one, then how do I just have the QR code and pay for the class, sign up for the class there? How do I do that?
Yeah. So I can drop a link to the course in the chat for you for the registration button.
Because I think that's
And
the one that
I want to do. The only thing is I've just got to look and I've got to call to make sure
that I don't have anything for that weekend on the 7th to interfere, because the only thing I have on the 31st is that court date. So
right.
other than that, I think it won't be a problem.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
So I'm just popping the link in the chat here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, and what we might do is make the recordings available for a week afterwards. So if there's any material that you want to cover, anything you want to revisit, then you've got a week after the course ends so that you can rewatch and revisit anything. So if you
revisit.
yeah, so if you step out for you have to step out for something, then you can just rewatch and get that. But you have to complete all 6 days in order to get your certificate. If you're gone like a short period, you're like, I know ahead of time.
No, I don't think it'll be a problem. I've just got to look to make sure. The only thing right now is the May 31st. That is because I would just cancel my I'd reschedule my appointments on the Fridays, and that's I could do that. That wouldn't be a problem. And then but it's just the May 31st. But I want to make sure that, because I'll have to go get my appointment book is not with me right here, and then I'm going to have to go by work to make sure they didn't schedule some kind of, I don't think they have, but I hadn't been at work. I've been off for 3 weeks. So I want to make sure that I'm almost positive it's the only thing is the May 31st. And that would be just the court date. So, because I know I didn't schedule anything that Saturday and Sunday, because it's either going to be, we're going to be celebrating, it's going to be great, or it's going to be very oh no, so that's why I didn't schedule anything just for that mindful part. I was like, I'm not working on anybody that afternoon. So I know that's totally cleared, but I'm almost 95% I'm going to do this. It's just, unless something, my doctor's got something coming up where he's like, you've got to do that, which I don't think he has. That's why I said I'm almost 95% sure that I can do that.
Okay.
And then I can just put it on either my debit card or my credit card on there.
Yeah.
So
on your credit card, because we're not in the same country.
So how would I do that?
It's just credit card. Just credit card is fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Debit card doesn't work across the border, unfortunately.
Oh, well, I've got a credit card I can use. That's not a problem.
Yeah, credit card is great. Yeah.
Okay. And then just pay like I normally do, like if I'm ordering something online
for my classes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there if I need, like if I have a question or something, like if it don't go through or, something like that, then how do I need to contact you? Through your email? Send me,
Yeah,
how do
I'm
I
gonna
contact you?
yeah, I'm gonna put it in the chat here. Info at
Okay, good.
mastectomyguide.com.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then any issues, and then we'll help you out and make sure that you get in there. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, that's what I want to make sure.
Okay. All right. And then, matter of fact, I'm going to try to go by work and see. So I will do that later this evening or first thing tomorrow after I go by, because I've got to go by and make sure to get my room and everything back ready. I'm babysitting tonight so they can have a date night. So that's the reason. So it's not like I'm
Trying to lead you along. It's just,
make sure on that. Okay, so that's good. And then also my friend Jerry, then how do I need to send her information? I may just wait until after I take the class since it's 2 weeks, because I'm going to go back to her, because she even says I'm educated more on the breast and the lymphatic than she is, because I've done more hands-on than she has, but yet she's an occupational therapist, so they send it to her, but she only does a little bit of hands-on. But because she wanted to take the lymphatic class that I took even years ago, but I think she would be better off taking classes from you versus going through where I went to school, because I think that I'm going to talk to her. So how can I give her the best way to talk to you? I kind of think I would like for her to talk to you. I think it'd be worth it for you to talk to her. I mean, she can read about it, but for you to talk to her like how me and you are talking, because if she has other questions, because I can
So
tell her in the classes.
Yeah, so probably for her, the best bet to begin with is to look at the website and just see if that material that's on there is of interest to her. And if she feels like, yeah, that's good, then she can put herself on the wait list for the Mentorship and Training Academy. And then she gets links to, if she wants to do the academy, then she gets links for the clarity call, which is how you and I are talking right now. Or she could email info at mastectomyguide and say, I'm really looking for information on the clarity call. But she has to go onto the website first and look through and see, like, yes, this is information that's pertinent to what I'm looking for. This is of interest. And then if she's like, I want to go farther, then that's when she would book the clarity call.
See, and I may have her do, are you going to be doing more of these 3-day, like what we did?
Yeah.
That
I'm thinking I'm going to talk to her and then explain that. And I think if she could just watch that, because that's kind of what I knew I wanted to do it. And then, but then I wanted to make sure also, before I need to get off phone,
I have a free thing that I did before that we have, which is a 90-minute masterclass, which might be of interest, that she would want to sign up for. And I'm going to have to get you that link. I don't have it right off.
And
the
what is
hopper.
that? The 90-minute masterclass?
That was on new ways to support women's health. So it's about mindful care for women's health.
Okay, I'm writing this down.
and then the 1-day breast cancer, do you think that I should add? Okay, that's July 8th.
Okay, not June 8th. Then with all of that, do you think that's something that I, would need also?
I would, if you're serious about working with this population, I would absolutely do it. You have your own experience from your own, your own personal cancer journey, but then when you're learning it to work with other people, it's a bit different. It's a different hat to be wearing.
Okay.
And then that learning how to work with the chemo and the radiation is really important.
And how much is that class?
That one is $298.
And
will you send me a link for that too in the chat? Okay, yeah. And that way I can just go ahead and sign up and put that on there too. Okay.
Because I think that would be good.
Yeah, it's a really worthwhile
Okay.
course for sure.
And then also, if Jerry wanted to take this one, could she take this one also without?
Taking the 3-day.
Yeah, this one's just a good standalone course.
Okay. Because I think that may be something that she may be interested in too.
This is just for the registration link.
Okay.
Registration link. The initial link that I put in the chat will
Mhm.
take you to the information page for each of the courses.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's good. Okay. All right. Okay, that's
I want to
good.
make sure everything is open from the links that we've given you so that when we're off the call, you still have access to all that information.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's perfect. Okay. Okay. All right. And then, because my goal, my OBGYN, he's going to quit delivering babies. He delivered my daughter and she's 22 and then she delivered hers, and he's wanting to do menopausal and the gap. And I'm like, this may be something that we kind of work with the women's health in. And so, but he's not doing that for probably another 5 years. But
Right.
that's something that I may, that's why I was asking if just say I do this and work with breasts then about how to kind of gap and like, the language to talk to them and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, because his thing would be, okay, how could I get insurance to pay for her? Like I'd have to work with him, but that was one of the things that at least, who I am. And that way when we could, I mean, there's something else that I could take, I'm sure there's more classes I can take too after I do these that you
Mhm,
probably will
mhm,
offer. So,
mhm,
okay.
mhm.
All
Yeah,
right. Well, I
yeah.
definitely appreciate all the information. So I will definitely sign up on that link, and then hopefully I'm hoping and praying that it will just be we go in at 8:30 and he doesn't show up and it's like, okay, he can get adopted. So that's what I'm hoping.
That's a
I
big
don't
day.
Yes, that's why I was like, oh God, May 31st. That's why I was asking about the whole other thing. That's the only
Yeah.
day that is, but still, even we can celebrate that night after my class.
Yes. Yes.
We can
Yes.
take them out to dinner. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that is good. So I'm excited on that. So that's not a
Amazing.
problem. Okay. All
Amazing.
right. So yes, definitely thank you for all the information, and I'll go ahead and sign up for that.
Amazing. That's so wonderful. I'm really looking forward to seeing you there, and I really wish you and your family the best on the 31st. I hope it all goes smoothly and you get the
Yes.
desired outcome and everyone is happy on the other side. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank
Yeah.
you very much. And I know you got other people you got to talk to. So
I
you've
do.
got a
I
busy
do.
few days. I can
I
imagine
do.
it being in your head, all that. Yes. So
It's
so
good though.
thank
It's
you
fun.
very
I like it.
much.
You're
All
welcome. I'll
right.
see you
You have a
soon.
great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.